side dish, main dish, winning dish. Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chronicles of Chef. I'm Scott Hamilton, and today we're going to take the humble cabbage. We're going to be inspired by the seasonal changes that are happening and a little bit of St. Patty's classic corned beef to make a delicious pan-seared cabbage round with an out-of-this-world sauce that is super simple to make, kind of like a pan sauce, and it's a mustard sauce with some sour cream and some nice herbs to brighten everything up. And we're going to take pickling spices to whole new heights. It's delicious. Let's get cooking. All right, let's get working on these cabbage rounds. Now, first thing that we're going to do is I am going to toast off my pickling spice. I was looking at all sorts of things. I kind of wanted to bring in a corned beef kind of background notes or like resemblance. And I was looking at all sorts of things. And really, at the end of the day, the best like replacement or simple way to do a brine for a corned beef is just using pickling spice. I got some pre-done pickling spice to keep my life simple. I have my pan nice and ripping hot, and we're just gonna toast these seeds, and then we're gonna grind them up in my mortar and pestle so that we can have a nice like fine seasoning powder to season our cabbage rounds. Whoops, our cabbage rounds and our sauce and everything. Get this out of here. All right. So again, we're just gonna look into kind of toast these real quick. The pan is apparently real hot. You want to toast them until they get fragrant. I've removed it from our heat source because this is just so hot already. It started smoking right off the bat. All right, we're just going to kind of go ahead and get these into here. Now while that's going, I'm going to go ahead and get some oil heating up in the pan. And we're going to use a fair amount. I'm using avocado oil just so that it can stand the high heat because we want a really, really good sear on our cabbage. Now, for grinding this guy up, we are just simply just going to grind it all up. We want to turn this into a fairly nice grind because I don't want the chunks of the whole spices and everything. And we need it a little bit finer so we can get into all the little crevices and all those different layers of the cabbage. This is looking absolutely beautiful. And we're going to, oh, it smells so good. We're going to season the cabbage after we've seared them. We're going to turn our pan down just a hair. We're going to lay in our cabbage. I cut these about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. And the reason why I did is because I want them to hold together really well. I left the core in them, and I'm really looking for these to be able to cook and then hold their rings so that we can kind of serve it like almost like we're doing a steak or nice thick like butternut squash. That kind of vibe. So we'll go ahead and get this in here. We want some just good contact, and we're gonna let those sit and hang out and really get a nice deep caramelization on the cabbage. I did 2 tablespoons total. I don't know if we'll really use all of it, but I figured more is better than not enough. That's kind of what we're looking for. It's just a nice grind on them. If you have a spice grinder, you can use a spice grinder. You can also put this spices directly on a cutting board and then take a pan like this, a cold pan, and grind it into it. And that's another great way to be able to grind up these spices like this. All right, let's take a look at these and see how we're looking. Okay, we're getting some good caramelization. We're not quite there yet. I want this kind of color everywhere. We really want this ripping. Whoop. This guy I was a little nervous about. We're going to flip him over and hope that we can somewhat keep him together. But that color right there is more of what I'm looking for. See how we're looking on this one now? Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna this guy. We're gonna flip this one. There we go. Love that. This is 1 head of cabbage that I sliced. And as you can see, as they're heating up, they're gonna fall apart. So you want to make sure you keep that core in there so they can hold together as well as possible. And also, the thicker they are, the better they're going to hold together. This is probably as thin as I would absolutely go. It would be perfectly fine to do more wedge-like. It's going to take longer to cook, but still going to be delicious. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull this guy out. Whoops. Set him over here on our pan. Hit a little bit more oil. Again, I just want a really, really good sear and fry on these guys. All right, this is going to be this side. Pull this guy off. Pull this guy off. We're going to go ahead and take some of our ground up toasted pickling spice. We're going to season these guys up a little bit here. There we go. Let's take a look-sees. Nice. Good. Caramelization there. Not as good there. Nice. But we still got some good caramelization. That's okay. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to again sprinkle some of this right on here. This pickling spice is very powerful, so you don't need a whole lot on here. Plus, we're going to use this in our sauce. So it's all going to be there. The flavor is going to be throughout this dish. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to hit it with a little bit of salt, kind of everywhere. And hit these guys with some salt before these fall apart too much. Put this guy right on top. I have my oven set to 375 degrees. I'm going to cover these with foil loosely so some of the steam can come out. But we do want some of the steam stay in on this guy so that it will kind of steam and finish cooking. And we're just going to have this in for as long as it takes us to make the sauce. This is going to be super, super simple. We're going to hit it with a little bit more oil. I've got mine at like a medium-high heat. We got a tablespoon of shallots minced up that we're going to throw in here. Kind of get that working. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of a grainy mustard. A little bit of heat, a little bit of tang. Got that mustard flavor. It's going to go great with this cabbage. Next, I have some dill and chives. I took the stems of some of those dill and some of the leaves. About a tablespoon of dill, about a tablespoon of chives. We're going to throw those kind of herbs in here just to kind of start bringing in that freshness. We're going to sprinkle it with some of our pickling spice here. We're going to hit it with a cup of water. With that cup of water, we are going to do a teaspoon of some roasted garlic bouillon. Just trying to keep with that like kind of theme of having this be more vegetarian vibes rather than necessarily full on meat. This can be a standalone dish. This can be a side. It can be all sorts of things. All right, we're just going to give that a nice mix. Oh, yeah. That is smelling absolutely divine. A little bit more of our pickling spice here. And then I got about a tablespoon, around a tablespoon or so of minced garlic. Throw that right in. Give that a nice stir. Now, I'm just going to look to reduce this sauce that we have working right now by about half. That's going to give us some thickness. It's going to help kind of umph all these flavors. But mainly, I'm looking for that consistency. As you can see, we're kind of treating this like a pan sauce from our cabbage that we seared off. We're using the same pan so we can just continue to build flavors, minimize dishes. That's always a win. But also, because again, we're using a wider pan instead of a pot or a sauce pot, that's going to help this reduce so much quicker because of the surface area. All the steam rising is that helping it reduce down. Oh, this is smelling so good. I do want a little bit of sweetness in here, so I'm going to kind of just finish off this honey that I have. It's probably going to amount to no more than a tablespoon. I'm not necessarily looking for honey flavor, so brown sugar would work well. Get that little molasses, those caramely notes will do really, really well with all these different flavors. Regular sugar would be just fine, or a sugar substitute, agave, would be really good. Maple syrup will be a little bit too overpowering flavor-wise, I think, but I think this honey will do just that, and is a great excuse to use the end of it, you know? There we go. So we're going to get as much out of this as we can. Go. The sauce is already starting to look beautiful. We're not quite fully reduced to where I want it to be, but we're getting there. All right, this is going to be way too hot, but I think it'll be worth trying to figure out this flavor profile, where we're at, we need salt, all those kinds of things. Wow, that is wild. It is herby, it is warm, it is comforting, but there's lots of zing to it. Oh, that is delightful. All right, I'm liking where we're at on this sauce. I'm going to turn this down to a medium-low heat because we're not looking to crazy reduce anymore. I like the consistency that we have. Things are looking really beautiful. Now we're going to add a few things to this to kind of umph it all up and kind of make it a little bit more rich and luxurious. One of those things is I got some beehive cheddar cheese here, but it is their queen bee porcini. So it is a delicious cheddar that they then hit it with a bunch of porcini mushroom, like kind of dust and whatnot. It's just going to give this a real good umami umph. It's really bright and herby and all those nice warming spices. So I think that the umami bump from the mushroom and then the cheddar and the richness and everything will be great for this. Ooh, we're a little melty, so we're just going to go ahead and break this down and garnish with the rest of this. And I think that's going to be super good. All right, we're just going to kind of get that melted in and mixed in. Oh, yeah. Now, when you're melting in cheese like kind of like this, you want to make sure that you're using a block of cheese. You're not using a pre-shredded because they're going to have anti-clumping agents on it. That's how you get like kind of a grainy texture rather than a nice smooth texture. Oh, but look at the consistency of this sauce already. I think it is turning absolutely beautiful. The cheese is just about melted in. We're almost there. Oh, yeah. But yeah, look at that. Looking beautiful. Okay, I want this to be really rich and kind of elegant and creamy. And again, just kind of going in with this like spring. It's St. Patty's Day's around the corner. We're doing cabbage, all that kind of stuff. I got a third of a cup of sour cream to come in here. Adding a little bit more richness, a little bit more tang. I think it's just kind of fitting for the kind of dish that we're making. And also it's going to add some nice volume without kind of losing the texture that we want. There we go. We'll give it another little try-sies. It's still bright. That mustard is there. Could be a little spicier for my liking. I might just go with a nice fresh cracked pepper. You get the pickling spices. We're going to do a little bit more of the pickling. You get the nice cheddar in the background with those umami notes from the mushrooms that are on that cheese specifically. This is delicious. I could eat this with like pork chops. This could be a delicious sauce alone by itself for corned beef. Oh, man. There's just enough sweetness. That little like tablespoon or so of honey was just enough. Can't taste the honey, which I wasn't looking for, but there you can tell that sweetness is there and balancing everything out. Oh. We're going to let this come together. I'm going to hit it with a little bit more salt. We're going to hit it with some freshly chopped chives just to add some fresh kind of onion vibe to it. Some fresh cracked pepper, a little dill. Give that work around. It's great sauce work here. It's nice. It's called nappe, where you can coat the back of a spoon. You can draw a line through it, and it stays. Great texture. Oh, man. This is delicious. Nice and tangy. Like the tang from the sour cream and the mustard. Oh, so good. Okay, we can kill the heat on this guy. Let this hang out and pull out our cabbage to see how they're looking. Let me take a look at our cabbage. Looking beautiful. What we're going to do is, I just want to see how the texture, where we're at. I want it to be still firm, yet chewable. Perfect. Think like a perfectly cooked piece of broccoli where you still have a little bite to it, but you can still chew through it just fine. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we got. The pickling spice on this is wild. It's just nice and warm and subtle. I didn't do any salt, so the cabbage is naturally really, really sweet, and that sweetness really comes out on it. And with the caramelization and everything, oh yeah. Let's plate. Ooh, this is gonna be yummy. All right, first things first is we're gonna throw some of our sauce down here just to kind of set the stage, you know? Then we're going to take one of these guys that is, ooh, it's hot. Take our cabbage, drop it right on top. Then we're going to just kind of paint this guy with the sauce a little bit. A little more chives. And then I have some hand-torn dill. Just adding some nice bright fresh notes. And then of course, because we can and should, a little bit more of this cheddar cheese. Side dish, main dish, winning dish. Oh yeah. All right, let's dig in on this. It is looking absolutely delicious. I think a nice like bed of polenta or mashed potato or any of those kinds of things would be absolutely delightful with this. Also, a side of piece of steak if you want to go the meat route would be also really good. Some sauteed mushrooms to go into that sauce would also be killer. But cut it with a butter knife. That's always a win. We got a little bit of cheese. We got some sauce. We got some fresh herbs. That is killer. The cabbage is cooked beautifully. Steaming it off in the oven afterwards, after we got that nice good sear on it, we got some good caramelization. We kind of bumped up the sweetness of it, but the steaming made it nice and soft, and so it is chewable, but it's not chewy. It's not like we didn't have to cook it for crazy amounts of time or anything like that. But and that sauce, that sauce is an absolute delight. There's a warmth to this dish that's nice and comforting. It's like nice warm blanket, but then it's light. I feel like this is this great, beautiful in between. You got the warming spices from the pickling spice blend. You have some like cinnamon and cumin and cloves and those kinds of things in there, and then you get the sweetness of the cabbage. You get a little bit of pop of heat from the black pepper and the mustard seeds. Then you get a little bit of brightness from the herbs that just kind of bring things to life. And then you get the other layer of acidity from the mustard and the sour cream. So it cuts through the richness of it, and so it just keeps it light and fresh, yet it still feels like a beautiful warm hug. Oh, this is so good. And all just a single head of cabbage. Like, that's all this was. All started with a head of cabbage. This on the side of your corned beef will be absolutely phenomenal. It is just so good. The cabbage, again, melts into your mouth. Like, it is so good. I'm loving this, and you should make this. Let me know down in the comments if this will be a standalone cabbage as the star, or you can keep this as a side to have whatever else you want with it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and we'll see you next time.